Like many of us, I loved the original Left 4 Dead games. I spent many of my nights playing Versus or messing around in the campaigns. I even met some of my best friends who I still talk to this day. So, needless to say, I'm a pretty big fan. Back 4 Blood has been in beta for about a week now, and after playing it, one question just kept popping into my mind. Is this the Left 4 Dead 3 that we've been waiting for? What's going on, guys? My name is Gryphon and I'm here to answer this question as best as I can after playing quite a few hours of the Back 4 Blood beta. Before that though, if you do enjoy this video, please leave a like and subscribe, and also in the comments down below let me know whether you loved or hated the original Left 4 Dead game. Without further ado, let's jump into the gameplay. Firstly, let's take a look at the modes that are currently in the beta. You have Quick Play, which allows you to get quickly into games. Then you have Campaign, which allows you to go through acts of the story solo with bots or alongside other players. For the most part, you can't really do solo unless people leave. Finally, you have Versus, which pits you versus an enemy team of Ridden and then reverses those roles throughout the game. More on this mode later. Next, let's take a look at one of the main systems that separates Back 4 Blood from Left 4 Dead. That is the card system. With this system, you're able to create decks and customize your kind of personal play style. These work in both modes by allowing you to draw a certain number of those cards from your deck each day's around. These are set based on the order that you put them in your deck, so they are not randomized. These cards are separated into Reflex, Discipline, Fortune, and Brawn, with the subset of those categories being Offense, Defense, Utility, and Mobility. Choosing the right cards can change how you play from being a cleaner who can absorb more blows, or being a supporter who can heal their allies more. The last bit of the card system is the Corruption cards. These are cards that the AI director will use to make your run either more difficult or give you rewards for specific challenges, like getting all the survivors to the end. As of right now in the beta, you can only obtain more cards via the supply line feature. This feature allows you to get supply points from playing the game and then trade those for customizations and more cards. We'll start our look at the gameplay with Campaign. Your objective in most stages is to get to the safe room and be, well, safe. Some levels will have many objectives, like dropping a bus to climb across a river or popping some zombie pimples to find the way forward. At the last part of an act, you will do a finale. The two currently in the game have you run across a bridge and blow up a boat, and the other has you defend a point while using artillery to shell an opening for your Humvee. This is the general gameplay loop of the game. As you are running from point A to B, you will be able to loot the outlying area, finding things like coins, guns, attachments, and healing items. You may also buy these things with the coins you get in between levels at the shop that spawns in the safe room. This is important in Back 4 Blood, especially on higher difficulty levels where loot is more scarce. These higher difficulties cause the AI director to send more of those special Ridden at you and generally offer you less loot, as well as adding and increasing damage to other players should you mistake them for a bloodthirsty being. So I don't recommend doing this without a couple of friends you can count on. Speaking of special Ridden, there are 3 types that have a few subtypes. The Tallboy has the Bruiser and Crusher subtypes. They all have the ability to charge and close distance to you. The Tallboy and Bruiser specifically have the ability to club you to death with their big meaty hand, whereas the Crusher can gently caress you to death while holding you captive. The Reeker can split into the Wretch or the Exploder. All of them come stock with a melee attack and the ability to dump hot acid on you after death. The Wretch can spit this hot goo at you freely, and the Exploder can trigger its death explosion without actually being taken on the pain train. Last but not least is the Stinger. It can also be the Hawker or the Stalker. All of them have the ability to shoot you with projectile spit, and the ability to jump and cling to walls. With the Hawker in particular being able to pin you with said spit, and the Stalker being able to jump on you hunter style. Now there are 2 special Ridden, at least in the beta, that don't split off into anything else. You have the Sleeper, which just takes a big nap on the side of a building, but if you disturb it, it will jump you with the force of a coursing river. And the only boss Ridden that's currently available with the beta is the Ogre, a giant hulking behemoth that can throw his own feces at you and has giant pimples for you to pop. Now I'm going to talk very briefly about the guns. You have your normal FPS types, assault rifles, sniper rifles, shotguns, SMGs, pistols, and your melee weapons. Everything except for those melee weapons do have attachment slots that can increase certain stats on your weaponry, such as getting a fast mag for your M4 will allow you to reload quicker. These attachments can be found either in your levels or bought from the shop at the beginning of the level. Then we have to talk about the cleaners, your titular characters throughout the campaign and one half of the versus mode. All of the cleaners have their own cards that provide them with a buff, as well as buffing a certain stat for your entire team. So choosing the right cleaner to go with can really help your team in the long run. Currently in the beta, you have access to these characters. Evangelo, who can break out of grabs and has more stamina regen alongside increased team movement speed. Hoffman, who has a chance to spawn ammo when killing a Ridden, an extra offensive item slot, and increased team ammo capacity. Ollie, who recovers stamina with kills, has damage resistance, and increases team stamina. Mom, who can instant revive once per level, has one extra support item, and gives the team an extra down. Walker, who gets increased accuracy with weak point kills, extra damage, and increased team health. You do get a nice variety here when you combine it with the card system, but what about their actual personality? This is definitely more opinion, but between cringeworthy statements and uninteresting dialogue, I really don't care for these characters. In-game, I just go for who suits the gameplay I'm going for because I don't care about the individual characters. That being said, I do know that there are more characters coming in the full release, so maybe this will change with the full game, but we'll see. On to where I spent most of my time in the Left 4 Dead games, Versus. Versus is interesting. They've taken the core concept of the Left 4 Dead style and made it more arena. In Versus, one team is the cleaners and the other is the Ridden. For the cleaners, the objective is to survive longer than the opposing team. For the Ridden, you want to take out the opposing team as fast as possible. Cleaners get a set amount of time to scavenge for items and supplies around the map before the battle begins. Much like modern battle royales, there is a circle that will slowly constrict around the cleaners to force them to move. This, of course, is to combat camping in one location and giving the Ridden more of a chance to kill. If you leave this ring, the killer mosquitoes inside of it will suck you to death. Ridden can only spawn a certain distance away from the cleaners and not be within their sightline. That's pretty much it. Gone are the days of going through an entire active campaign going back and forth in favor of quicker arena-style bouts. How did this feel? If I'm honest, I feel the gameplay style isn't suited for this type of versus. My favorite part of Left 4 Dead Versus was having to do the map objectives and survive while players try to hinder and kill you. Or, as the infected, planting well-made traps to catch survivors off guard. This faster style of gameplay doesn't really allow for this. I think it's a good mode, but it didn't live up to my personal expectations. Overall, I believe the replayability of this game is going to come primarily from the card system and campaign. For some, Versus might very well be where it comes from, but I definitely don't think it will be the majority. With all of that info out of the way, let's answer the question I posed at the beginning. Is this the Left 4 Dead 3 we all hope for? The short answer is no, it's not. The long answer is, while Back 4 Blood has many intriguing systems, and I do enjoy the ability to adapt my playstyle with the cards, it just doesn't have the same oomph that Left 4 Dead 1 and 2 had. Versus is a disappointing addition to the game with its arena style, and it's been confirmed that this is not going to change with the full release. Campaign is good, but the difficulty scaling is tuned very strangely. The base difficulty is way too easy, giving you plentiful ammo and not as many Ridden spawns, but Veteran and Higher will ram you with special Ridden, and without a coordinated team, you will die, leading to an alienation of players who don't have someone to play with. The map design is overall forgettable. Later maps that come post-beta might fix this issue, but both of the finales in the beta were very weak and not very enjoyable. While I won't use this against the game in my critique, I will say the card system seems ripe for microtransaction abuse, and that really concerns me. Overall, I think Back 4 Blood is a good game. Gunplay feels good, the card system is good, and the varied types of play are a nice addition. However, it feels like Turtle Rock tried to throw everything that they could in to differentiate it from Left 4 Dead while having a similar core gameplay. And the reality of it is, all it made me want to do is go back and play Left 4 Dead 2 again. And well, that is that. Those are my thoughts on the Back 4 Blood beta and whether it is a worthy spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead. What do you think? Was I too hard on some of the mechanics? Am I blinded by nostalgia? Let me know how you feel, as I love hearing differing perspectives. If you want to hang out with me, I stream live over on Twitch every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 8 p.m. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more content here on YouTube. With all that said, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.